Chapter 1. The Legend. Long ago, in a small village nestled between green hills, people whispered about a mysterious forest. During the day, it was an ordinary forest. Birds sang, flowers bloomed, and bees hummed lazily in the sunlight. But at night, everything changed. When the sun disappeared behind the mountains, the forest seemed to fall into a deep sleep. The wind stopped blowing. The trees stood still. Even the stream stopped singing. The villagers called it the forest that fell asleep. No one dared to enter it after sunset. The elders said the forest was dreaming, and anyone who disturbed its dreams would become part of them forever. But to the village children, including a brave girl named Lan and her curious little brother Min, the story sounded more like an adventure than a warning. "If the forest is sleeping," Min laughed, "maybe it dreams of clouds and butterflies and us." Lan smiled, not knowing that one day she would have to step into that dream herself. Chapter 2. The Lost Brother. One sunny morning, Min went into the woods to pick mushrooms. He waved to his sister. "I'll be back by noon." But noon passed. Then sunset came, and still Min didn't return. Lan waited and waited. Finally, as the last light faded, she packed a small bag. A flashlight, a piece of bread, a water bottle, and the red scarf her mother had knitted for her. "Don't worry," she whispered to her parents. "I'll find Min and bring him home." As she walked toward the forest, mist began to creep along the path. The wooden gate that marked the forest's edge loomed ahead, old and mossy. When she stepped through it, the wind stopped. It was as if the world was holding its breath. Lan gripped her flashlight tightly and whispered, "Don't be afraid. I'll find you, Min." Chapter 3. Footprints in the Fog. The mist grew thicker, wrapping around Lan like a soft blanket. She shone her light on the ground and gasped. Tiny footprints. They were small and slightly uneven, just like Min's. "Min's been here," she murmured. "I'm on the right path." She followed the footprints over a small wooden bridge. The stream beneath shimmered faintly in the moonlight, cold and clear as glass. Lan dipped her hand in. The water was icy. Birds chirped softly overhead, but their song sounded strange, like a lullaby. Suddenly, a white rabbit hopped across her path. It stopped, turned around, and looked straight at her as if saying, "Follow me." Lan blinked, surprised, but her feet moved on their own. The rabbit led her to a hidden path covered in green moss, a path no one from the village had ever seen before. Chapter 4. The Little Wooden House. At the end of the path stood a small wooden house, its chimney puffing out a thin trail of smoke. Warm light glowed through the windows. Lan knocked softly. The door creaked open. An old woman with silver hair and kind eyes smiled at her. "Come in, dear, the night is cold," she said. Inside, the air smelled of baked bread and tea. A fire crackled in the hearth. On the table sat 2 mugs and a plate of cookies, as if someone had been waiting. "Are you looking for someone?" asked the old woman. "Yes," Lan said quickly. "My little brother. He went to pick mushrooms and hasn't come back." The woman nodded. "Ah, the boy who wandered into the forest's dream." "The forest's dream?" Lan repeated. "Yes, child, but don't be afraid. This dream isn't cruel, it's just lonely." Ikdi I sustained. Chapter 5. The Old Woman's Tale. The old woman poured Lan a cup of warm tea and began her story. Long ago, this forest was full of laughter. Birds sang, deer played by the river, and children ran through the trees. But people stopped visiting. They built their homes farther and farther away. The forest missed them so much that it grew tired and fell asleep. Lan listened wide-eyed. "When the forest dreams," the woman continued, "it dreams of the people who once loved it. Those who wander inside get caught in its dreams, not forever, unless they forget how to wake it." Lan looked at her hands. "Then how can I wake it?" The woman smiled. "You must go to the heart of the forest, where the oldest tree grows. If you sing a song from your heart, a song of love and courage, the forest will hear you." Lan stood, determination shining in her eyes. Then I'll sing until it wakes. Chapter 6. The Voice in the Mist. Lon stepped back into the mist, her heart beating fast. The fog swirled around her, and the light from her flashlight flickered weakly. Then, a voice. "Lon! Over here!" It was Min's voice. Lon froze. "Min? Where are you?" "Here!" the voice called again, cheerful and clear. Lon ran toward it, her feet splashing through puddles, branches brushing her face. And there, under a huge old tree, sat Min. He looked calm, holding a tiny squirrel in his arms. "Min!" Lon cried, hugging him tightly. "Where have you been?" "I don't know," he said softly. "I was dreaming. The forest showed me stories, and it told me you'd come." Lon frowned. "The forest talks?" Min grinned. "Only if you listen." Chapter 7. When the forest woke up, the two siblings walked hand in hand toward the heart of the forest. The air shimmered with tiny lights, fireflies glowing brighter than ever. Lon took a deep breath and began to sing. Her voice trembled at first, then grew stronger, echoing through the trees. Min joined in, and their song rose like sunlight through the mist. Leaves began to glow. The ground trembled gently, birds burst into song, and streams gurgled joyfully once more. The forest was waking. Lon laughed. "It worked, Min! Look!" All around them, color returned to the world. Soft greens, golds, and blues. Even the stars above seemed to sparkle brighter. And far away, the old woman watched with a proud smile. Chapter 8. The Secret of the Forest. As the light faded gently, Lon and Min reached the oldest tree, tall and wide, its trunk warm to the touch. At its roots lay a small wooden box. Inside was a silver bell, engraved with the words, "For the one who wakes the dream." Lon rang the bell softly. Its sound was clear and sweet, carrying far through the forest. The old woman appeared again, glowing faintly. "Thank you, children," she said kindly. "I am the spirit of this forest. I've waited many years to hear a human song again." Lon and Min bowed. The woman smiled, then turned into hundreds of tiny golden lights that drifted up into the sky. From that day on, the forest never slept again. Chapter 9. Back to the Village. When the children finally left the forest, dawn had broken. The air smelled fresh and clean, and flowers had bloomed overnight. At the edge of the forest, Lon turned back and waved. "Goodbye and thank you," she whispered. When they reached home, their parents ran to hug them. "Where were you? We were so worried." Lon and Min told them everything, about the dream, the old woman, and the song. Their parents smiled, thinking it was just a wonderful story. But from that day on, the forest near their village was greener, brighter, and full of birds again. And sometimes, on quiet nights, people could hear a soft bell ringing in the wind. Chapter 10. The Dream Lives On. Years passed. Lon and Min grew up, but never forgot the forest. They often took younger children to play there. The trees were taller now, the river clearer, and butterflies danced everywhere. Every evening, Min would ring the little silver bell, and a faint smell of tea and baked bread would drift through the air. "Do you think she's still here, the old woman?" Min would ask. Lon smiled. Maybe she's listening to us sing. The forest that fell asleep was awake once more. Peaceful, kind, and full of dreams. And sometimes, when you walk through a quiet forest and hear the wind whispering your name, maybe, just maybe, it's that same forest saying hello. The end.